It's high noon, the high noon show. Hi, I'm Pugs Moran. This is Pugs and Company on the Radio Misfits podcast and streaming network. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I was watching CNN just a moment ago, and they did this bit with right. CNN's doing bits now. That's how desperate they are. John King, who hosts the 11 a.m. political show there on CNN, 11 a.m. Central Time. He just had like a little cross moment with Wolf Blitzer, which is weird because Wolf Blitzer wasn't doing the next show. The next show is hosted by Ana Cabrera. But for some reason, they were doing a little cross thing about this weekend's football. Apparently, John King is a Patriots fan and Wolf Blitzer is a Bills fan. And they were John back and forth, and they made a bet. But that's not why I was distracted. I was distracted because John King, who we always see in a suit, he was wearing a Patriots t-shirt instead of a suit. He was just wearing a t-shirt. Dude is jacked. John King, the news guy, had pythons. Holy crap. It was as disturbing as the first time I saw Chris Cuomo wearing a super overly tight polo shirt. What he did, whenever Chris Cuomo would go out in the summer and do something, from the street or something, he would always wear a shirt that accented his. John King is jacked. Jeez Louise. All right, welcome into the High Noon Show. Hi, Leslie. Leslie first in today. She wins the prize. No prize. There are no prizes. We don't have prizes. This is so low budget. It is, let's see here, January the 14th. That makes it what? 14th day of the year. 351 days remain until the end of the year. So there you are, that stuff. And what we do here is hopefully by the time we're done, you're going to know everything that everybody's talking about. This is a show that's about current events, trending topics, hot topics, anything that people are talking about. We try to rip through here in the next couple of hours. I'm not going to say it's a bad day. Some days there's bad. Some days it's just like nothing really grabs me to talk about. It's just that there doesn't seem to be a whole bunch of important stuff. The Pugs, what do you mean important stuff? There's all kinds of things but we don't do politics here. I don't want to delve into the Supreme Court. I don't want to talk about Ted Cruz. I don't want to talk about, it's just like, What we try to do here is just natural conversation, things that you need to know that won't get you into fights. Although, who knows? There are a couple of topics that are probably divisive. Everything is divisive. Everything is divisive. And everybody just wants to be arguing with each other now. So what we do here is we try and split it down the middle. We try to be non-divisive. No politics, very little religion. We talk about social issues. Well, that's politics. No, it's not. No, it is not politics. But everything can be politics. All right, let's get into today. What is today all about? Hi, Tom. Good afternoon, Tim. Tom sent me a little more Bitcoin. Hey, I should check on my Bitcoin because there's been like a rally. People came in and they bought the dip, as they say. Let me see where oh, Cash App updated their look. Got a whole new thing going on here. Don't make me sign in again because I have no idea. Cash App is now green. All right, where's my Bitcoin at? All right, it's up. It's up significantly. All right. So it went down. It tanked last week. Last week it was tanking, going lower, lower, lower. And then it shot up like 3 times what it tanked. So, hey, if that keeps up, someday soon, I'll have $20 worth of Bitcoin. I'm a very small player. I'm dipping my toe to see. By the way, you can support the show in many ways. You can share the show. You can like the show. You can donate to the show with actual cash money that I can use for things. Or you can play the Bitcoin game with me. You can give me whatever. I don't care. You can do that through the Cash App. I appreciate those of you who have gotten me involved in Bitcoin. Even though it's a very small level, I'm at least learning about it. I'm watching it go up. I'm watching it go down. Very interesting. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to be real. I don't know if it is real. I don't know if it's just something people who vape talk about. I don't know. I'm not sure. Leslie, thank you. Leslie's such an ardent supporter of this show. There's some of you people who just really there's about 5 of you, 6 of you who are keeping this show afloat alone. And I really appreciate it. I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of you who actually help out, and that's wonderful. But there's like, you're all getting tote bags. You're getting tote bags. You're getting box sets of this day in history, I don't know what you're getting. You're getting nothing. You're getting my eternal gratitude because the show is run by you, the civilian force that supports it. All right, on this day, let's see here. What's happened on this day? Why is today pretty cool? Well, this is a trending topic, but we'll also mention it here. 1952 today, NBC's long-running morning news program Today debuts. Original host, Dave Garroway. And a monkey, right? Wasn't that it? Didn't Dave Garroway host the Today Show with a monkey? J. Fred Muggs? Was that the Today Show? Or is that something else? I don't know. I just remember that's how that's how morning news started in this country. So, we really shouldn't complain about the state of it now because it began with a newsman, Dave Garroway, co-hosting with a monkey named J. Fred Muggs. I think. I don't know. Look it up. I just remember there was a monkey involved somewhere. 1973 in this day, Elvis Presley's concert Aloha from Hawaii is broadcast via satellite, and it sets the record for the most watched broadcast by an individual entertainer in television. Now, this is interesting to me because I don't know, like, what is that number compared to your average YouTuber? You know what I mean? I mean, people get what? Hit shows get 6 million people watching per episode. All right, so history. Let's see what global is. Actually, we should just do America, right? Let's see what the most watched shows in the United States are. Let me see here. Oh my God, the first bunch are just Super Bowls. Okay, no, number one. Hey, look at this, the birthday boy. Look at me. Of course, the number one watched show in American television history is the Apollo 11 moon landing. Between 125 and 150 million people tuned in on July 20th, 1969, the day I was born. My mom missed it all because she was giving birth to me. Now, to be fair, that was shown on all the networks. So there really wasn't a choice. That was pretty much all you could watch. Next comes Super Bowl. Okay, that's 40... 49. Super Bowl 49. Roman numerals. I struggle with them. Super Bowl 49 had 114 million. Super Bowl 45, 6, 7, 8. Super Bowl 48 had 112 million. Whole bunch of Super Bowls. Got a big. Richard Nixon's resignation speech had 110 million. And then there's more Super Bowls. Then let's forget about Super Bowls. Let's talk about shows that were actually shows. The goodbye episode of MASH on February 28th, 1983 got 105 million people. I watched that. I think I was one of the 105 million people. Roots Part 8 got 100 million people. The day after, November 20th, 1983, got 100 million people. That was broadcast on ABC the day after. Oh my God. I have looked for the day after and I can't find, I don't think I can find it. I have been wanting to rewatch now, all these years later, the day after. The day after, for you kids out there who may not be what was on TV in 1983, the day after was an ABC. Was it a miniseries? I believe it was a miniseries. Or maybe it was just one episode. I don't know. I don't remember. Well, let's click on it. Let's find out. Let's see. The Day After. The Day After is an American television film that first aired on November 20th, 1983 on ABC Television Network. More than 100 million people and more than 39 million households watched the program during its initial broadcast. With a 46 rating and a 62 share. Wow. During its initial broadcast, it was the 7th highest rated non-sports show up to that time and set a record as the highest rated television film in history, a record that it held until 2009. The film is a fictional depiction of war between NATO forces and the Warsaw Pact countries that rapidly escalates into a full-scale nuclear exchange between the United States and the Soviet Union. Man, what was I, like 13, 14 years old? That was some scary-ass stuff, man. My entire kids, look, hey, I'm not taking anything away from kids today. Kids today have it worse. They have it worse. By my estimation, they have it worse. When any nut job can just walk into any school at any time he wants and just start blowing people away in the hallway, that is a much greater threat than the Cold War threat that we faced when we were in school. The Cold War, we'd have had at least a warning. We'd have had at least, there'd have been buildup, there'd have been tensions. But man, kids today with the pandemic. So I don't want to lessen what those kids went through, but I'm telling you, man, the Cold War jacked my head up. The threat of nuclear annihilation at any moment, that was something I thought about a lot. That was something I was very concerned with. And then I tune in as a little 12-year-old or whatever I was for the day after, 13 years old, 14, whatever, somewhere in there. That shook. I was shook by that. I mean, it just showed you what was going to happen when the bombs fell. And I remember what was Ground Zero in that Manhattan, Kansas. And I remember thinking, why Manhattan, Kansas? It was a scary movie. All right, so the day after is one of the big ones. Super Bowl. Oh, cool. This is a good one. I remember where I was for this. The police pursuit of O.J. Simpson drew 95 million people. Went on for a couple hours. I remember I was working in radio at the time, and we were doing a bar appearance at Riley's Daughter in Chicago. And it was the night before my host was going to attempt to take a jet ski across Lake Michigan, which, as it turns out, had never been done before. Nobody had actually taken a jet ski from the shores of Lake Michigan all the way across to South Haven, Michigan, which is, I jet ski a lot now. I have a new respect for what my host, Kevin Matthews, did on that day. What a brutal journey. You're not talking about out there jet skiing on Lake Louisville on a, even a windy day. You're talking about the chop of a Great Lake for ever. Hours and hours and hours of just, oh my God. So we're sitting at the bar. And we're giving away stuff, and we're promoting the jet ski event for the next morning on the show. And I'm up on stage with my buddy, the dear departed Doc, and we're trying to get everybody's attention, but we noticed that everybody's head is turned. Now, we were already fighting an uphill battle because it was the NBA Finals. And, it was Jordan Bulls era back then. I don't think it was a Bulls game. It wasn't a Bulls game, but it was an NBA Finals game. And nobody's paying attention to us. We're like, what the hell is going on? We're like the most popular morning show in town. This place is packed. A lot of these people are here to see us. What the hell is going on? And I remember Doc going, hey, man, OJ's running. And I'm like, what? And we got off the stage and we moved over to the bar and we just sat there and watched that white Bronco chase for a couple hours. I remember going home and like jumping onto the TV immediately and staying up late into the night when OJ finally pulled into his house. Remember, he went home and then his son came out and his son's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And then all the cops emerged with the guns. I'm like, this is some TV going on here, man. This is some I thought I was going to see O.J. Simpson shot dead in his driveway that day, that night, that evening, whatever. I didn't. All right, so the pursuit of O.J. got 95 million. And then there was another big one, 90 million for Muhammad Ali versus Leon Spinks and some other Super Bowls. Okay, so those are the most watched TV events of this day. But with that said, Elvis Presley's concert, Aloha from Hawaii, was at the time set the record for the most show ever viewed. Not plane crashes. I say there's always been a plane crash. This one doesn't fit the criteria. My criteria for plane crashes, I believe a plane crash, a commercial airline disaster has occurred on absolutely every single day. I've been proven wrong on that. January 3rd had no plane crashes. January the 13th had no plane crashes, and my criteria sets it between 1945 and 2000. On any day between 1945 and 2000, there will have been a major commercial airline disaster. My thought is they were still working the bugs out. They still didn't know how to, keep engines from not dying and all that stuff. But doesn't fit the criteria. But Saha Airlines Boeing 707 crashes on this day in 2019 in Alborz, Iran. I mean, that also doesn't fit the criteria. That's kind of a sketchy place to be flying anyway. So that's what happened. Born on this day, happy birthday, Mark Antony, born on this day in 83 BC. I typically don't do these old school birthdays, but, we got a couple here that I thought were interesting. Mark Antony, Roman general and politician, born on this day in 83 BC. I don't know how accurate that is, but, born on this day in 1741, Benedict Arnold, American-British general, turncoat, trader. Benedict Arnold, I watched I don't know, Pugs, all you know about history is from TV shows. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because, I find it more entertaining than reading. I've read a couple of books. I've read some books, but mostly if I can find a good docuseries or a good documentary, I'll choose that over it. Turn was a series that is it's available on Netflix. It's really good. Turn is about George Washington's spy ring that he created back during the Revolutionary War times. And Benedict Arnold was a major character in that. And it taught me a lot about Benedict Arnold that I didn't really know, because basically my knowledge of Benedict Arnold begins with the Brady Bunch. That's the first time. Wasn't Peter called a Benedict Arnold or something? And then I was like, oh, okay, it must be a bad guy. And then they explained who he was. Benedict Arnold was actually a war hero. Benedict Arnold was our best general. He was Washington's closest pal. He was the hero of Ticonderoga. Well, that's debated. A lot of people say that he stole glory from that. But it's not debated that Benedict Arnold was an efficient and great general back during the American Revolution. But you know what the problem with Benedict Arnold was? He wasn't getting paid. He wasn't getting paid. He was putting his body on the line. He was out there leading forces. He was kicking ass. He was taking names. He was feared by the British. He was a badass as far as the British were concerned. And he wasn't getting paid. And he was disgruntled, as they say. And because the British feared him so much, they made a deal with him. They basically said, hey, why don't you come over here and work with us? He did a little calculation. It was wrong. He thought that there was no way that the revolutionary forces could survive the winter. They didn't have food. Nobody was getting paid. He expected mass defections. And so he went over to the other side. He was wrong, because we're America, baby. We stuck it out. George Washington held it all together with toothpaste and twine, and we beat the British back. Benedict Arnold wasn't executed, though. Benedict Arnold kind of survived that whole mess. I guess he ended up, in the end, I believe he ended up in England, just being moved to England. He's like, I'm going back. They don't like me over there. When did he die, an old man? Let me see here. Did he die an old man or... But then once the war was over, the Brits treated him like trash because he was a traitor. They were like, you're a traitor. We can't trust you. Benedict Arnold, 17. When did he die? He died in 1801, 60 years of age. So let's see where his death is. Let's see what they say about his death. Death and funeral. In January of 1801, Benedict Arnold's health began to decline. Yeah, so he wasn't put to death. He wasn't. He suffered from gout since 1775. Boy, do I know about that. And the condition attacked his unwounded leg to the point where he was unable to go to sea. The other leg ached constantly, and he walked with a cane. His physicians diagnosed him as having dropsy, and a visit to the countryside only temporarily improved his condition. He died after 4 days of delirium on June 14th, 1801, at the age of 60. Legend has it that when he was on his deathbed, he said, let me die in this old uniform in which I fought my battles. May God forgive me for ever having put on another. Let's see. Arnold was buried at St. Mary's Church in London, England. As a result of a clerical error in the parish records, his remains were removed to an unmarked mass grave during church renovations. His funeral procession boasted 7 mourning coaches and 4 state carriages. The funeral was without military honors. Arnold left a small estate reduced in size by his debts. Among his bequests were considerable gifts to one John Sage, perhaps an illegitimate son or grandson. Let's see here. Ben Franklin called him a Judas. All right, whatever. Interesting guy, though. Benedict Arnold. Happy birthday, Benedict Arnold. All right, let's see. What other birthdays are we celebrating today? Born on this day in 1932, Big Daddy Don Garlits, American race car driver and engineer. Oh man, Sunday, 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 U.S. smoking 30 drag strip. See Big Daddy Don Garlits tear up the turf as he high-fives the devil while he burns through the gates of hell. Sunday, 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 U.S. smoking 30 drag strip. Where the big ones run. I know that was a national commercial, but they just changed the name of the drag strip depending on the city they were in. I used to love those commercials. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Big Daddy Don Garlits. He's born today in 1932, still alive. Born on this day in 1941, Faye Dunaway, American actress and producer. Let me see here. Faye Dunaway movie draft. I can't do a Faye Dunaway movie draft. She played Bonnie in Bonnie and Clyde. She was in Network, which is so good. And that's it. I'm out on Faye Dunaway. Born on this day in 1948, Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, famous from also Action Jackson, famous for the Rocky movies and some other things. He played American football. I didn't know that. He was a pro football player. Carl Weathers. I had no idea. He played for the Raiders in 70-71 and then played a couple of years in the Canadian League. So he wasn't great, but there you go. Carl Weathers, born on this day in 1948. Born on this day in 1959, Jeff Tate, German-American singer and songwriter and musician. Queensryche, Silent Lucidity, Operation Mindcrime, I believe was the album that I was a big fan of for like 2 months. Man, were they an over-the-top band. They were like Pink Floyd trying to do metal. They were. Who was the guitar player? There was a guitar player in Queensryche who was really good too. Jeff Tate. You always forget about Jeff Tate. At least I do. Whenever I'm talking about the best songwriters, or not songwriters, singers. Well, he's also probably pretty good with the songwriters because that was some deep, crazy, trippy stuff that Queensryche was doing. But Jeff Tate could sing, man. He still can. He's still alive. He was born in 1959. He's 62 today, 63 maybe. Jeff Tate of Queensryche, born on this day. Another guy, another big name born on this day. This is a good one. LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool J. LL Cool J, one of the very first big star hip hop. Although I guess back then it wasn't hip hop yet. It was still called rap. He was one of those rappers. LL Cool J, born on this day in 1968. Now he's an actor. Now he does movies and stuff. Born on this day in 1969, one of my favorite people. This is good. This is a good run of two people who share a birthday. These are two really cool, really awesome people who have been around seemingly forever, who have never done anything that would put them in the jackass column. Born on this day in 1969, Jason Bateman. Jason Ozark is coming back next week. So excited for Ozark to come back. If you're not watching Ozark, oh, do I envy you. You've got a couple of seasons worth of episodes of Ozark to catch up on before you get all caught up. And that is great. Jason Bateman, the first time we saw, first of all, brother of Justine Bateman from Family Ties, right? Remember Mallory Keaton, Alex Keaton's older hot sister. Jason Bateman, let's see here. He started out on Silver Spoons. He played like Ricky Schroeder's dick friend. He was like a total dick. He was like a hateful person. He was not a popular character. Nobody liked him. He was a jerk. And then he goes from being this like jerky kid actor who, and by the way, that doesn't put him in the jackass. He was playing a character. The character was a jerk, not actual young Jason Bateman. So he goes off, disappears for a couple of years, and then reinvents himself as one of the most beloved actors in Hollywood. Who doesn't love when Jason Bateman shows up in a movie? You're like, this is gonna be fun. He's funny. Arrested Development. Dude can do humor. Ozark. Dude is an actor. Jason Bateman, happy birthday to you. Born on this day in 1969, 53 years old today. And he still looks 35. Jason Bateman is another one of these guys who are not aging. Also born on this day, sharing a birthday with Jason Bateman. Boy, this is the cool day to be born. Dave Grohl. Happy birthday, Dave Grohl. A true national treasure. A true rock and roll icon. Gonna go, I don't know if, not in yet. Dave Grohl's going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. He's already in for Nirvana. You know he's going in for the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, man, the drummer from Nirvana. I remember I was working in alternative radio at the time when the Foo Fighters first started up, and I remember people thinking, What? The drummer from Nirvana is now going to be the singer. Well, we knew he was Dave Grohl because he was a big name still. Dave Grohl isn't playing the drums. Dave Grohl is going to be. I have a cool Dave Grohl story. It was when I was at said alternative station Q101 in Chicago. We did this summer kickoff concert with all of these bands, and the Foo Fighters were one of the headliners of the band. And it was Taylor Hawkins, who's the drummer of the Foo Fighters. He was dating actress Minnie Driver at the time. And this concert was taking place on a Saturday at the same time as a Bulls playoff game. And everybody was like, man, everybody wants to watch the Bulls. Nobody's going to. So the radio station set up this lounge area, this really cool lounge area with couches and sectionals and, all that stuff and big screen TVs. They brought in these big screen TVs backstage. And it turns out the Foo Fighters, big basketball fans. I was sitting on a couch with the Foo Fighters watching this Bulls game, just like normal people. And by the way, Dave Grohl was a Nirvana guy, so he was like a superstar, but the rest of the guys in the band, they were just like dudes in his new band. They weren't like, big superstars yet. And Minnie Driver, the actress, was there, and she was sitting there. She was sitting right next to me, and I spent a good 45 minutes watching basketball with Minnie Driver, explaining to her why the Bulls are the greatest team ever. And Dave Grohl was there, and he was chiming in, and he was, oh God, my love for the Foo Fighters has just grown exponentially since that moment. But they were so cool. They were so nice to everybody. And happy birthday, Dave Grohl. Everybody knows to this day, Dave Grohl is one of the coolest. Springsteen and Grohl, man, those guys are like just totally unaffected, totally sweet, totally awesome. Sometimes if it's something significant, we like to say who died on this day, and this one sucks. This one sucks. This one really sucks. I remember when this happened, I was really sad about this. And interestingly enough, I wasn't even sad because I'm not a fan of probably his most famous role. Alan Rickman died on this day in 2016. He died of, I believe it was cancer. Born in 1946, died on this day in 2016. Man, Alan Rickman is another one of those dudes. When he was in a movie, you just knew that he was going to say some cool stuff. You just knew that he was going to be an Alan Rickman movie draft. This one will do. I can't do Faye Dunaway, but I can do an Alan Rickman movie draft. All right, let's see here. In the first round of the Alan Rickman movie draft, the representative from the Pugs and Company High Noon Edition takes Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Hans Gruber. Oh, gotta be the consensus number one. Now, some of you kids might take Snape, whatever he was. He was in the Harry Potter movies. So an entire generation of a younger generation than me appreciates him for his Harry Potter work. Not all that familiar with it. I've only spun through some Harry Potter movies with my kid. I can't say that I've ever seen an actual full Harry Potter movie. But Hans Gruber in round one. Round two, have you guys ever seen Galaxy Quest? Have you ever seen Galaxy Quest? He played Dr. Lazarus in Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest is one of the most underrated films of all time. Galaxy Quest is hysterical. That's round two. Round two, Dr. Lazarus. Round three, I went on record over the Christmas season saying this is my favorite Christmas movie. He played Harry in Love Actually. He played Harry. Harry was so funny. Harry in Love Actually in the third round of the Alan Rickman movie draft. Round four. Okay, now we're getting a little bit deep. He's done a lot of cool things. Round four, I'm going to go with his portrayal of Eamon de Valera, the first president of Ireland in the film Michael Collins. Michael Collins, the Alan Rickman draft. Round four, Michael Collins. And round five, let's just go with the Sheriff of Nottingham. Round five, the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And that concludes our Alan Rickman draft. In the first round, Hans Gruber. Second round, Dr. Lazarus from Galaxy Quest. Third round, Harry from Love Actually. Round four, Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood. Round five, Eamon de Valera in Michael Collins. Michael Collins is such a great movie. Maybe you got to be Irish to appreciate Michael Collins. But, Liam Neeson. Kid, Irish freedom fighters, the story of the Irish Revolution. So good. So good. All right, let's see what today is. Let's see here. January 14th in America is National Dress Up Your Pet Day. I don't know. I don't know when people dress up their pets. I don't know. Maybe if you got a little dog and it's cold outside and needs a sweater, that's fine. But these people that dress up their dogs and their animals, like, I'm not down with it. I'm not down with it. I don't think a dog. Look, if the dog is fighting because he doesn't want to put the outfit on, the dog doesn't want to put the outfit on. Okay, I know you got Instagram. I know that you're trying to get clicks. Whatever. Just leave the dog alone. National Dress Up Your Pet Day. Oh, your pet day, not just your dog. All right. Today, January 14th, is also National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day. Oh, man. I love a good hot pastrami sandwich. Manny's Deli in Chicago, baby. Manny's Deli, the greatest pastrami on the planet. God, I miss that place. You're ever in Chicago and you want yourself the best deli in America, you go find yourself Manny's. Manny's is me and my son's favorite place to go have lunch. It's adjacent to downtown Chicago. It's in a bit of a sketch neighborhood, but whatever. It's Manny's, and they make these latkes, these potato pancakes. They make these potato pancakes that they give you with every sandwich. Screw French fries, man. I want one of them potato pancakes. Those things are awesome. So happy National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day. January 14th is also Ratification Day. Ratification of what? That's just what we're just going to... Oh, Ratification Day, January 14th, annually recognizes the act that officially ended the American Revolution. Oh, look at that. On Benedict Arnold's birthday. Ratification Day. Occurred, with the Treaty of Paris. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've got the Treaty. I saw Treaty of Paris earlier. That was today, January 14th, 1784. This happened at the Maryland State House in Annapolis by the Confederation Congress. Okay, so there you go. Happy Ratification Day. That's a real one. That's not like National Dress Your Dog Up Day, National Dress Your Pet Up Day. Ratification Day. Feels like that should be a bigger deal. Feels like we should maybe, I don't know, have the day off. Oh, okay. How about a moment of joy? This is a nice moment of joy. This is a good one. We don't do moment of joys every day because, quite frankly, I don't want to force it, and there's not always great ones. This one is pretty great. Okay, so here. Well, that's wrong. Hold on. All right, that one was not good. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. What? You're going to make me see an ad? I don't want to see no stupid ad. Okay, we'll skip that ad here. All right, we'll do this. This is nice. These are two super oldster brothers, one from India, one from Pakistan. They haven't seen each other since 1947. That was when Pakistan and India split up. I don't know why they haven't been able to see each other. I mean, it seems like it would have been easy if maybe they just didn't want to. But at any rate, here they are. This is so sweet. This is a nice little unification between two brothers who haven't seen each other since 1947. This is truly a moment of joy.
ਇੰਨਾ ਕਿ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਟਲ ਨੇ ਦੋ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣ ਚ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ 2 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਜੱਫੀ ਪਾਉਣ
Man, this is like two heads of state meeting at a demilitarized zone or something. Look. Oh, here they go. There's one old guy. Which one is he? The one in the yellow? They got sweet sweaters in that part of the world. Oh, that's an Adidas sweater. Oh, come on, man. That's sweet. I don't even have any siblings, but I can appreciate this. Look, we're together now. How crazy is it? They're both still alive. That's a long time. Oh, man. All right, well, there you go. That's your moment of joy. If that doesn't make you smile, that doesn't put you in a mood, you're dead in a mood. You're dead inside. You are dead inside, I tell you. All right, let's get back to, man, I am hot. I might have to take a break here in a second. I might have to change. I'm wearing a sweater. I'm wearing a wool sweater. I'm starting to sweat pretty bad. All right, let's get into the things that are trending today. Today, we like to go through all the things that are trending. Well, not just today, every day. I know, Jeff, damn you. That was beautiful, right? Leslie said, I was so sad to hear that he died, talking about Alan Rickman. He was so great in action, fantasy, period pieces. Yeah, he did. He did a lot of period pieces. I'm not big on that. That's why I didn't draft any of his, English stuff. But Alan Rickman was a dramatic actor. He could do action films. He played the greatest bad guy ever, Hans Gruber in Die Hard. Greatest bad guy, maybe Darth Vader, but I don't know. Hans Gruber is just such a great and iconic bad guy from the 80s. Loved him. But the thing about Alan Rickman that I truly appreciated, he was killer at comedy. He could play the most awful character on the planet, and then he could do a movie where he was also awful, but so funny. He was such a funny actor. Galaxy Quest, man. Love Actually. I mean, he's done a lot of funny stuff, but man, what a loss. Alan Rickman is a real loss. Alan Rickman is a guy that movies just aren't as good now that Alan Rickman ain't popping up in them time to time. All right, trending today, here was a local one for us. It's North Texas schools are trending. Let's see here. Why are North Texas schools trending? A whole bunch of them are shut down, man. Dozens of North Texas school districts cancel classes due to COVID-19 related injuries. Cases, not injuries. Let's see here. What's it say? Nearly 24 independent school districts across North Texas are closing their doors due to the rise in COVID cases and shortages available with teachers and staff. While the largest school districts in North Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Garland, and Plano, will have classes as usual, the surge in COVID cases in Texas has resulted in deep cleanings and lights out at many schools. The closures will give an extended weekend to some students, while others will be away from campus for more than a week. Wow. All right, so there's a big list of schools. I mean, you already know if your kid's school is closed, right? I mean, it's 12:30. You know. But man, yeah, there's a lot of them. There are a lot of schools here. All right, so that's why schools in North Texas are trending today. A bunch of schools being closed. Olivia Culpo and Christian McCaffrey, running back, tremendous running back for the Carolina Panthers. They're trending today. Why are they trending? Well, they got into a thing with American Airlines. And it's not like, typically when people are getting into things with airline workers these days, it's usually because the people themselves are the idiots and the airline is just doing what they have to do. Not in this case. This is a very bizarre case here. Olivia Culpo is a former Miss USA. She is the girlfriend of Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey. Her and her sister and Christian were boarding a plane to Mexico. They were going away for a Mexican weekend. Woo, fun times. And American Airlines told Olivia Culpo that she had to cover up, that she wasn't dressed appropriately. Then she did, and then she made an Instagram post about how crazy it was that she was forced to cover up. Because honestly, she looked fine. I don't understand this. I think, I don't know, was this just like an angry desk person at the check-in for the airline who saw, a beautiful woman and her famous football player boyfriend and just got angry or jealous and decided to be a jerk about it? Because I'll show you what she was wearing. I'll read you the story. Olivia Culpo almost missed a flight to paradise after American Airlines found her outfit to be inappropriate. The former Miss USA was boarding a flight to Cabo when her sister, Aurora Culpo, revealed that she was told to, quote, put on a blouse. Olivia and I, here's a quote now, Olivia and I are going to Cabo, and look at her outfit, Aurora says in an Instagram story while showing off Olivia's attire, which consisted of black biker shorts, a black bralette, and a black cover-up. She was wearing black biker shorts. She was wearing like a sports bra, but she also had this long, like floor-length jacket over it. I mean, here, you know what? I'll just pull it up. We can look at what she was wearing. I really don't get this. This seems like such a ridiculous thing for American Airlines to go to war with. Here it is. All right, we'll pull this up, see if we can find it. Yeah, okay, I'll view the story as me. All right, hold on. Here. I don't understand how Instagram works when I share it, but here, we'll do it this way. I don't know where this music is coming from either. It's bugging me. Nope. Okay, hold on. That wasn't right. My apologies. Where's that music coming from? Oh, probably on this website? Yeah. No. Well, enjoy the music. Let's just hope it isn't trademarked. All right, we'll show you the outfit she was wearing. There we go. Okay. So this is Aurora Culpo. Okay. This is the sister of Christian McCaffrey's girlfriend. Now she's dressed fine, right? She looks a beautiful couple of sisters. Here, let's see this.
I love you so much. Please get me to Cabo.
All right, so this is Olivia. This is what she was forced to wear. She was forced to put on Christian McCaffrey's sweatshirt. And by the way, they're really nice about this. Like, they're not like, I can't believe, they're not acting entitled. Both sisters seem to be like, okay, we'll do it. We're not going to make a big stink about it. All right, so this is what she was forced to put on. But then look at this woman. This woman was also on the flight. This woman was not asked to cover up. The other girl was.
She looks beautiful and they don't care, but she has to cover up. Let me see.
Okay, so that's what, covered up. Now you see here in the bag, this is her big cover up, almost like a bathrobe that she was wearing, that she was told she couldn't wear. So she's wearing these shorts and she's wearing a sports bra, but she was wearing a cover up, and they still told her.
Yeah. What do you think?
There's Christian McCaffrey. He doesn't want to be involved.
That's exactly. And they look amazing.
That's weird. All right, so this is the outfit. See this is the shawl she was wearing. She was wearing this, she was wearing this, and she was wearing this. Let me see if you can see her wearing the whole thing, because there was I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I flew American Airlines to Italy a few years back. It was summer. I had a high-waisted shorts.
Separate note, our flight has gotten delayed an hour and a half. And I got a spray tan right before we got here, and I'm supposed to wash it off within 3 hours. Otherwise, it just keeps developing.
There are a couple of beautiful sisters. I'll give them that. All right, let's see the outfit. Come on. There's like a really brief moment. Okay, there's Christian. He's freezing because he gave his girlfriend his sweatshirt, so he's cold. Oh, where's the cover up? All right, so she's got that going on. Let me see here. Okay, well now we're just getting into silly stuff. There's Christian. He's cold. Where's the actual outfit she was wearing?
American Airlines.
Okay.
Olivia and I are going to Cabo, and look at her outfit.
Okay, all right.
She looks cute.
So at that point, it's open. But they could just tell her to cover it up, right? Couldn't they just ask her to close it? They don't have to tell her to take it off and put on a sweatshirt. She looks fine. This is a ridiculous story, especially when you then see the woman. See the other woman.
They call her up to the desk and tell her that she needs to put a blouse on, otherwise she can't get on the plane. Tell me, is that not... No, American Airlines. I love you so much. Please get me to Cabo.
She loves.
But she looks.
I don't get this. This is all right. This one is fine, but the other one isn't. I don't know. All right, so that's why they're trending today. Probably going to get some free flights out of it, and they don't need free flights. Maybe the gate worker was the mom from the Supercross rally. Yes, if you were tuned in last night, we played a video of a mom who went nuts on someone at a Supercross event because some crazy pilled out stripper was showing her boobs and all right, Olivia and I are going to Cabo. We already covered this. She looks cute. She looks appropriate. Yes, she does look cute. All right, we can move on from that. We've seen everything that we need to see there. But I did not know who Olivia Culpo was until today, and I certainly didn't know who Aurora Culpo was, but, oh my God, I like the Culpo sisters. Can we get them a reality show? I mean, I won't watch it, but it seems like, why not? Sinead O'Connor is trending today. We talked about her on Monday. Very sad story for Sinead O'Connor, who I will go to my grave believing is a cool-ass chick. Sinead O'Connor's son, her 17-year-old son, committed suicide, and very sad, very sad. And now today, Sinead O'Connor is trending because Sinead O'Connor has been taken to the hospital She's not handling her son's suicide well. Very, very sad situation for all involved. Let's see what this story is all about. Man, Sinead O'Connor, don't forget, she got her entire career torpedoed everyone in America decided that they hated her because she dared to call out the Catholic Church and all their abuses about a year before everybody else did. That's what she did. She went on Saturday Night Live. She stopped her son. She was raised Catholic, Irish Catholic. She had personal experiences with church abuses as a child growing up. And she stopped her song in the middle, pulled out a picture of the Pope, and then made some rant about, the Pope and, how they're covering up the child sex scandal and all this kind of stuff. And then she tore up a picture of the Pope. And from that moment on, she was persona non grata on NBC, on Saturday Night Live, and all that stuff. She was just, a record company didn't want to have anything to do with her, blah, blah, blah. And then a year later, everybody acknowledges the evils of the Catholic Church. What do they say? Pioneers get the arrows and settlers get the land. Well, she was a pioneer there, and she took the arrows from the Indians on that one, because just look, a year later, now we all acknowledge what the church did and how the Pope at that time had covered stuff up. She just went first. She went through the door first, and it destroyed her career until everybody else then went, oh. Jeff Glenn says there's a third Culpo sister. Her name is Sophia, and guess what? She's beautiful. Yeah, I would imagine that. All right, so Sinead is trending today. Sinead O'Connor has been hospitalized in the wake of her son's death. The 55-year-old singer was admitted to hospital Thursday, days after her 17-year-old son, Shane, was found dead. O'Connor confirmed Shane's death on January 7th on Twitter after previously telling fans that he had gone missing. In a series of posts Thursday, O'Connor said that she had decided to, quote, follow her son. There is no point living without him. Everything I touch, I ruin. I only stayed for him, and now he's gone, she wrote. I've destroyed my family. My kids don't want to know me. O'Connor then blamed herself for Sean's suicide. Shane's death is no one's fault but mine. Mine is no one's fault but mine. I don't want to be in a world without my Shane and without my other kids. The singer later tweeted that she was with police and that she was on her way to the hospital. She then tweeted, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I am with cops now on the way to the hospital. I'm sorry I upset everyone. I am lost without my kid, and I hate myself. Hospital will help me a while, but I'm going to find Shane. This is just a delay. Whoa, man. Oh, this poor woman. O'Connor has 3 other children, Jake, Rosen, and Yeshua. The singer is best known for the single Nothing Compares to You, and last released the song Trouble of the World in 2020. Just sad woman. She's going through some troubles. Tremendous singer, though, man. Again, I tell you, the cool last story about Sinead O'Connor, I told it on Monday. When she first signed her record deal, her record company tried to turn her into like a Madonna type. They tried to turn her into like a sexy, ingenue kind of a deal. And they had taken some photos of her, and she was looking through the photos, and she was like, this is not who I am. I don't want to be exploited in this way. Like, think about whatever you want. But hey, man, she's a true artist. She was like, I want my voice to sell. I want my songs to sell. I don't want my image to sell. So Sinead O'Connor left the photo shoot, shaved her head, and said, work with this. That's pretty cool. And she still became a pop culture icon. She still became a massive star. And that's why the shaved head. She was like, yeah, you're not going to market me as some pretty stupid girl. I'm going to go home and I'm going to shave my head, and you're going to have to actually listen to my music instead of whatever. I hope she finds her way. I love Sinead O'Connor. I love her voice. Oh my God. Emperor's New Clothes is such a great song. Chris Noth is trending. Chris Noth, we've been covering the trials of Mr. Big. Figuratively, trials, not literally. He's been accused by multiple people, multiple women now, and they're coming out. It started out with 2, and now there's like 6 girls that say, yeah, he raped me too. Apparently and this isn't just like, he pulled out his penis, no, he actually had non-consensual sex with a bunch of girls that he picked up. All the while he's married. And Chris Noth is trending because, well, this is pretty invasive. I mean, now that I'm looking at this, I don't even know why I should talk about it. But his wife, Tara Wilson, is going around without her wedding ring, which is never a good thing, you know. And some lecherous paparazzi caught her in her car yesterday crying hysterically while on the phone. And of course, it's a British tabloid. They got pictures of her. They got pictures of her crying. They got pictures of her trying to make them go away. I mean, what the hell, man? What is wrong? I shouldn't even be talking about it. I understand it. But my point here is a little bit more about the invasive nature of what these people go. This is just a civilian who happens to be married to a famous person who's a piece of shit. That's all. And she's going through a really rough time. She's crying in her car. Leave her alone. There's no decency. There's no it's the paparazzi. No, people, it's not the paparazzi. They don't take those pictures unless we want to see them. It's us. This idea that it's always somebody else. Personal responsibility. We, the people, we're the ones who created that. We're the ones who had the demand for it. We're the ones that like to see people having terrible times. Just disgusting. All right, so Chris Noth has had some other bad things. He's been dropped from all of his TV shows. He was on The Equalizer on CBS. He was killed off in the sequel to Sex and the City. Peloton, apparently he was a spokesperson for Peloton. They have dropped him. He had a big deal. Apparently he's got a tequila because every celebrity's got a tequila. Apparently he had a tequila that was going to be sold for like $100 million, but the company that was going to buy it said, "Yeah, nope, not anymore. You're kind of a bad guy now. We don't want to be in business with you." So that's why Chris Noth is trending today. Also trending today, another local story. This is exciting. I'm excited about this. Fort Worth is trending. Why is Fort Worth trending, Pugs? Fort Worth is trending because they're bringing the rodeo back. The return of the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo is back, and it's happening this weekend. Now, Pugs, what are you doing talking about rodeo? I would love to go to this. I would love to go. I don't have my kid this weekend, so and there's really no point in it. I want to go with my kid. I went, you got to go to Mesquite Rodeo. I was there once about 20 years ago. And I didn't really, it was an appearance. And I didn't have an appreciation for what was going on in the rodeo. It was like, I walked in and I looked around and I was like, cool. That's a bull. That's a big, mean looking bull. Well, that guy's going to get in there with that bull. I didn't really have an appreciation for it. But I've been watching Yellowstone. I've been watching Yellow. I now have an appreciation for rodeo. I now feel like I understand what they're doing, like what the goal is, not just riding bulls, but I want to see the horses. I want to see the trained horses. The horses that are trained to so there's this thing that they do. At least I learned this, and it was at the Fort Worth Stock Show. The depiction of it was at the Fort Worth show on Yellowstone, where like these just amazingly beautiful animals are just trained to be so agile and so they just are so on command with their rider. And it's not just the animal, it's the rider too. The way, I love it. I love it. I totally got into it. I was like, man, I want to go. I've got these real things happening in my backyard. I can go out there and I can watch these things for real. And I want to see them. Over 1 million people are expected to enjoy themselves at the 125th Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo starting this Friday. The 23-day show in and around the Dickies Arena is back for the first time after missing the last 2 years due to the pandemic. Final preparations took place on Thursday as crews get things ready for the crowds. There's still all the features that people expect: livestock shows, the petting zoo, the milking parlor. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to milk anything. While there's no mask or vaccine mandate, they'll have a vaccination clinic on site, and they are taking some precautions, providing plenty of mask distribution all over the complex, providing hand sanitation all across the complex, and other such measures have been taken. So they're going to have like a vaccination clinic at the Fort Worth Rodeo. Probably not going to be long lines for that, right? I mean, you're either vaccinated already or you ain't getting vaccinated. You know what I mean? It's like one of those deals. If you're not vaccinated now, you ain't getting vaccinated. It's just probably not going to be a thing you're into. The show is expected to generate $175 million for the local economy and $15 million in state and local taxes. Across the street from Dickies Arena, businesses are eager for the crowds. It's going to be a party, said Taco Heads owner Sarah Castillo. It's in the air. Everybody is so excited about it. We have our sign. There is a countdown. While they are dealing with many of the same issues, they don't have enough people to work. Let's see here. There's literally going to be people all over the place. Look, we're in a pandemic, Pugs. I'm vaccinated. I still wear a mask everywhere. I've done everything I can do. I can't. We can't force people. You got to do what's best for you. But it's never going to stop, and it's never going to stop mutate. Yeah, we know. We've been saying that for 6 months. It's falling on deaf ears. No, nobody is changing their opinion on this. People are dug in. It is never going to stop. That's the reality that we have to now accept, that it is never going to stop, because it is going to constantly mutate, because there are people out there who aren't going to get the vaccination, who aren't going to kill this thing off. They're not going to pull together in the same direction. They call them bad teammates, whatever, call them individualists, depending on where you are. I can't, I'm not interested in having a conversation about it with anybody. I'm just not. I'll do what I'll do. My kid will do what he does. And that's really all I can control. If you're still not vaccinated, that's your choice, man. I can't keep hating people. I don't hate people. I'm not a hateful guy. I have friends who will not get vaccinated, and I can't hate them. I refuse to. The last 4 years, I have had way too many people that I don't talk to anymore because of these stupid things that divide us, and I have no interest in this anymore. So I'm vaccinated. I wear a mask still. I'm trying to be as careful as possible. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You can just do you. That's it. All right, that's why Fort Worth is trending nationally too. That's pretty cool. Joe Rogan is trending. Boy, talk about being divisive. I know Joe. I knew Joe. I don't know Joe anymore. I don't know who this person is of the last couple of years, but I used to know him back in the day. Knew him pretty well. Socialized with him. Thought he was a good guy. Still think he's a good guy. Still, I get a little... So here's why Joe Rogan is trending. Hundreds of professors, scientists, doctors, and healthcare workers called out Spotify this week, accusing the streamer's most popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, of spreading COVID misinformation. I listen to Joe from time to time, not quite as much anymore as I used to. I will look and see who his guest is. It's a minefield. Joe Rogan is not Alex Jones. This is the other thing that bothers me. Joe Rogan has some opinions that maybe I don't agree with when it comes to the pandemic. But, that's not who he is. That's not a full definition of who the man is. The guy does incredible interviews with people. And it's not all whack jobs. It's not. I'm telling you, the Joe Rogan Dave Chappelle episode from last summer, probably last May or so, maybe in April of last year, if you want to hear it. It was like 3 hours of Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle just sitting in a room talking about their long friendship, talking about all the things they disagree on. And, Dave Chappelle is on one side of a lot of stuff and Joe Rogan's on the other. And they were able to have this conversation as two people who greatly admire one another. It was civil. It was fascinating. Joe Rogan also, he doesn't... What's going on there, dog? The dog just totally freaked out. Oh, a plane flew over. That plane did sound a little low, didn't it, baby? All right. In an open letter addressed to Spotify, 270 science and health professionals said the podcast was broadcasting misinformation, particularly regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. The letter then asked Spotify to, quote, take action against mass misinformation events. Notably, it didn't recommend any specific actions for the streaming platform to take. The letter specifically highlighted a December 31st episode featuring Dr. Robert Malone, a virologist who was recently banned from Twitter for spreading vaccine falsehoods. On the episode, Malone told host Joe Rogan that there had recently been an explosion of vaccine-associated deaths and that hospitals are financially incentivized to label COVID a cause of patients' death. He also said leaders are using free-floating anxiety to hypnotize the public. And see, now you're getting into the whole conspiracy theory thing. It's just Joe loves that stuff. Joe, I don't know that Joe truly believes a lot of these things, but he talks about conspiracy theories. He plays devil's advocate a lot. I mean, you can tell if you're listening closely, you can tell when he's doing the devil's advocate thing. I guess the problem is that a lot of the people who listen to Joe Rogan can't tell that he's just being contrarian or the devil's advocate for, fun, to make the interview more interesting. Joe Rogan is not a newsman. He's not a journalist. He's a guy that does MMA and used to make people eat bugs on TV. He's a comedian. He's a great comedian. He's a relatively bright guy. I think that he's overly reductive much of the time. But his audience, his core diehard audience, it's almost the way I feel about the Grateful Dead. I don't really mind the Grateful Dead, but Grateful Dead fans, that's who I mind. I can't get with the Grateful Dead fan. And that's kind of how I feel about Joe Rogan. I don't so much mind Joe Rogan as much as I mind the diehard meathead who thinks that they're watching Walter Cronkite. That's not what he is. He's got the most successful podcast on the planet. He's an entertainer. He knows what he's doing, but he's not. Again, just like the vaccine, I don't want to have these arguments with people. Do what you want to do. Make up your own mind. Hopefully, you're able to do that in a way that doesn't cause excessive damage. But unfortunately, I just worried there is a meathead element to the Joe Rogan listener base, is what I'm saying. A meathead element that doesn't think for themselves, and they just process the reductive conclusions that Joe comes up with as being fact. And then they go out on their own Instagrams, their own Twitters, and they start parroting this shit, and it becomes an echo chamber. And all of a sudden, you got a bunch of dudes in skin-tight affliction shirts acting like they're virologists. Jew-face is trending. Yes, Jew-face. This is crazy. The term Jew-face is trending. What the hell is Jew-face trending for? Well, let's find out, shall we? Well, it has to do with Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren, the actress who's got a new role. She's playing Golda Meir. Golda Meir, leader of Israel during the, she's one of the great prime ministers of Israel, one of the first ones. First important ones anyway. First female world, well, not the first female world leader, but certainly one of the first serious, I'll just read it to you. In the upcoming biopic Golda, Helen Mirren plays former Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, when Israel was invaded by a coalition of Arab states on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. By the way, they're showing a picture of Helen Mirren of Golda Meir, and it is crazy. She looks just like her, which is weird because Helen Mirren is beautiful and Golda Meir was not Helen Mirren. That's all I'm saying. I mean, so they made her up, and apparently people have a problem with the makeup that they put on Helen Mirren to appear like Golda Meir, and they're calling it Jew face, that she's wearing a Jew face. Well, then you're saying Golda Meir had a Jew face, and because she looks like Golda Meir. She was made up to look like this real person. So, and then it goes back to the whole Sarah Silverman thing. A couple of months back, we talked about it. Sarah Silverman went on a podcast. Sarah Silverman is Jewish. Really, Pugs? Silverman? You put that together? Sarah Silverman went on a podcast, and she was complaining about Kathryn Hahn, the tremendous actress Kathryn Hahn, who was cast to play Joan Rivers in a movie about Joan Rivers. Well, Sarah Silverman wanted to play Joan Rivers. And Sarah Silverman went on this show, and she said that, I'm tired of these non-Jews putting on the Jew face and, taking roles that should go to Jewish actors and actresses. Which is just, and I'll read you the story here, but that's sort of where we first started hearing the term Jew face going around. In an upcoming biopic, Golda Meir, we talked about that. While Mirren is not Jewish, Golda is directed by Academy Award-winning filmmaker Guy Nativ, who is both Jewish and Israeli, and written by a British screenwriter, Nicholas Martin, who has previously worked with the organization's UK Jewish Film Institute. But in the UK, where production wrapped last month, Mirren's casting as one of history's most heroic Jewish women has caused some disquiet. Actor Maureen Lipman, the pianist, highlighted the discussion about what has been termed Jew face. When she told a newspaper she disagreed with Mirren's casting because the Jewishness of the character is so integral. I'm sure she will be marvelous, but it would never be allowed for, say, a Ben Kingsley to play Nelson Mandela. You just couldn't even go there. Well, but that's because Ben Kingsley is of Indian descent and Nelson Mandela is a black guy. And if the character was a different total skin color, you might have to cast somebody of that skin color. But how are you saying that there is a Jew face? Because I know a lot of Jewish people and they don't necessarily look like that's a Jew. I don't see it. I don't get it. And how far are we going to go with this? Let's just read it. My opinion, and that's what is just an opinion, says the actress. If the character's race, creed, or gender drives or defines the portrayal, then the correct ethnicity should be a priority, which is not to say that Pericles, Prince of Tyre, has to be played by a pure Tyresian. It's complicated. Lipman is not the first to raise the issue of Jew face. Like blackface or yellowface, the term describes actors of non-Jewish descent playing Jewish characters. On her podcast, comedian Sarah Silverman, we already talked about this, points to a pattern of non-Jews playing characters whose Jewishness is not just incidental, but their whole being. While Variety's own... Look, for years, how far do we take this? For years, we had gay men playing straight men. What are we not supposed to have? Or gay women playing straight women? It's acting. This is acting. You're not actually the person. You are acting like the person. Because Mirren playing Meir, in the last 5 years alone, Catherine Hahn has been cast as Joan Rivers, Felicity Jones as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Gary Oldman as Herman Mankiewicz, Oscar Isaac, Sense from a Marriage. Isaac also previously played Mossad agent in a 2018 film. Rachel Brosnahan as Mrs. Meisel, Rachel McAdams in Disobedience, James Norton in McMafia, Tom Hardy in Peaky Blinders. Oh, Tom Hardy is so good in Peaky Blinders as the Jewish mafia boss. Oh, so good. Okay, so this is ridiculous. These, again, the way I feel about these are actors. I might have look, if you wanted to cast Steve Buscemi to play Martin Luther King, I might go, yeah, that's taking the acting thing a little too far. I get that. But Judaism, I don't know how Judaism... What are we going to do? That's why Jew face is trending. People don't like that Helen Mirren is playing Golda Meir. The Today Show is also trending. It is the 70th anniversary of the Today Show. So they do this whole thing, it's like the Today Show. Hey, happy birthday, Today Show. It's 70th anniversary. And then they do a retrospect. And also, we got Matt Lauer trending because the Today Show, in true Soviet fashion, is pretending like Matt Lauer wasn't the most appreciated, longest-serving host of the Today Show. Matt Lauer is a non-person. I don't even remember what Matt Lauer did, honestly. Matt Lauer and Katie Couric. That's the Today Show to me with Al Roker. Let's see what they say here. It's been 70 years of Today. NBC's beloved morning show celebrated a huge anniversary on Friday, and the show's anchors celebrated every minute. During the morning broadcast, anchors Al Roker, Savannah Guthrie, Hoda Kotb, Craig Melvin, and Carson Daly reflected on that's where Carson Daly's been. I was wondering where Carson Daly was. Carson Daly. I don't wake up to watch the Today Show. Haven't seen the Today Show in probably decades. Looking back on times of tragedy and triumph in the world through the years, the footage featured clips of anchors past and present, but not Matt Lauer. Looking back on times past and present and other milestone moments from the series run. I think the secret hot sauce, why this show has lasted 70 years, is its good company, Copy 57 said. We don't really care about this, right? The first episode of Today aired on January 14th, 1952. At the time, David Garraway was the news show's leading anchor. He eventually worked alongside Barbara Walters, who he hired as a writer for the show. Other notable anchors in the show's history. Now, this is from People magazine. Look at this. Other notable anchors in the Today show's history include Katie Couric, Hugh Downs, and Tom Brokaw, and the rest. And it says, among many others. You mean Matt Lauer, don't you? You mean Matt Lauer. This is so stupid. God. You can't pretend it didn't happen. You can't pretend that Matt Lauer sucked at his job. He was wildly popular. I feel bad for him. Hey, what did Matt Lauer do exactly? Let's find out what Matt Lauer did. Because I'm not sure. I mean, was it like rapey stuff, or was it more of this like Louis C.K. kind of, hey, can I show you my penis? Sure. And then you get in trouble for it. All right, here it is. Matt Lauer, sexual misconduct and assault allegations. On November 29, 2017, NBC News announced that Lauer's employment had been terminated after an unidentified female NBC employee reported that Lauer had sexually harassed her during the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia, and that the harassment continued after they returned to New York. Andrew Lack, chairman of NBC News, sent a memorandum to his staff that said, in part, on Monday night, we received a detailed complaint from a colleague about inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace by Matt Lauer. While it is the first complaint about his behavior in over 20 years that he's been with NBC News, we were also presented with reason to believe this may not have been an isolated incident. A network executive said Lauer would not receive any form of monetary settlement because he was fired for cause. His contract had been scheduled to run through the end of 2018. NBC News management said that it had been aware that the New York Times and Variety had been conducting independent investigations of Lauer's behavior, but that management had been unaware of previous allegations against him. Later reporting disputes this. Linda Vester, a former NBC News correspondent, said that management had to have known and that everybody knew that Lauer was dangerous. What did he do? I mean, sexual harassment, that's a very vague term. I need to know specifically. Look, if he said, I'm Matt Lauer, and if you don't have sex with me, then you're fired. Okay, that's a big deal. But if he's just like being a hitting on guy, I mean, I understand that's not good either. But is that worth torpedoing an entire career? Why don't you just sit him on the bench for a couple of months? Why don't you just say, look, you embarrass him publicly. I'm sure. All right, see, I don't want to get into this either. I just think that in 2017, we were lopping the heads off of people for very little discretions, for very small indiscretions. And there are people out there who need to be in handcuffs. And it just seems like we got rid of Al Franken, right? Because he took a picture going, honk, honk. He didn't actually touch anybody. He was just, he's a comedian. When he was a comedian, he took a picture of somebody sleeping, a girl sleeping on a plane, and he was over like this, honk, honk. He didn't touch her. It was just a stupid picture. Was it in bad taste? Absolutely. But does it mean that he needed to step down from the Senate? No. Louis C.K. lost probably $100 million when every single one of his deals, because he would hang out with chicks and go, can I show you my penis? And they would all say yes. And then he would do things. But I was afraid to say no. Oh, you don't destroy a man's career. Harvey Weinstein is a pig. Chris Noth, turns out, sounds like he's a real pig. There have been honest criminal acts perpetrated against people. There are bad guys out there, but we just cast such a wide net. And Aziz Ansari. You remember Aziz Ansari, the comedian? He was on Parks and Recreation. He got canceled. He got canceled because he went on a date with a girl and he tried to kiss her and she didn't want him to try and kiss her. I have tried to kiss girls that didn't want to be kissed on dates and they say no and you go, damn, I struck out. I don't. All right, Pugs, calm down. And I don't know. I'm not saying that Matt Lauer didn't deserve what he got. It's just that the details here surrounding this, I don't remember them being something that stuck out in my head as going, well, that's a bad one. That guy. Again, there are people out there who are truly, truly bad guys. And we cast a wide net back then because it was like, let's get anybody. Let's get anybody who has ever said anything that offended a woman. All right, here we go. I'll challenge you on Aziz. He wasn't canceled because he addressed it right away and thoughtfully. Yeah. But again, his career has been stalled. His career has not been, he was on a trajectory to, we don't need to get into it. Let's see here. Let's see what it says. He is truly bad. Who is truly bad? Matt Lauer? I need details. I need to know what he did that is truly bad, because just saying that he was accused of sexual harassment, that doesn't give me many details. And I could be wrong. I'm open-minded enough. I just don't remember any shocking details about Matt Lauer. I always liked Matt Lauer. Maybe not anymore. Dylan the Pickle. Dylan the Pickle is trending today. He's trending alongside something that we're going to refer to as Pickle Dick. Pickle Dick is trending. Dylan the Pickle is apparently the mascot of the Portland Pickles, which is a AAA or AA or minor league baseball team of some note there in Portland. And yesterday, the social media account of the Portland Pickles did this whole thing where it's like, we're going to be wacky today. We have been overtaken by mascot Dylan the Pickle, and he is now in charge of our social media account for the whole day. Dylan the Pickle's out of control. And that was the bit that this minor league baseball team was doing on the air yesterday. Dylan the Pickle has taken over their social media account. So Dylan the Pickle, he tweets a pickle dick. He tweeted a picture of him in his pickle costume sitting down, and I'll show it to you. Why not? Well, because some people are like, that's not a pickle dick. That's just part of his costume. However, there are some things about the pickle dick post that you need to know in order to have the full. There it is. Okay, there's the pickle dick. Dylan the Pickle is taking over. Help us, please. Dylan the Pickle is taking over our social media account. And here he is. Flop. Wait, did you see that? Did you see that, or did I lose it? Yeah, I think I lost it. All right, let's try and do this again. Yeah, okay, well, there you go. You can see the little green pickle dick right there? All right, so that's what he put up. New phone, who dis? Dylan the Pickle tweeted from the team's pickle dick. All right, so, Pugs, that could be anything. That could just be part of his costume that bunched up funny. I mean, there's the great Curb Your Enthusiasm issue about the pants tent, where sometimes your pants will bunch up and it'll make it look like you got. So that's what they said. They said, okay. So after that, like within minutes, he was supposed to run the social media account all day. So like within minutes of that picture going up, they're like, we are so sorry. We have taken back control of social media from Dylan the Pickle. Dylan the Pickle has Now, again, you can defend it as they did. They said this was a mistake. That was just his pants, but it offended some people. So we apologize. But then why did Dylan the Pickle in that picture that he sent out, why did he hashtag Oscar Mayer wieners and Planters peanuts? Right? Stop it. Dylan the Pickle broke bad on you. You had an idea. You were going to let Dylan the Pickle run your social media account, and he went rogue. It turns out Dylan the Pickle is a pervert, and that's why Dylan the Pickle is trending today. That's fun. That's a fun story. That's a fun story for a Friday. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Okay. So a couple of things trending here. The Klitschko brothers are trending. Boxing's Klitschko brothers, Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir, of course, the better known of the two. Vladimir was a heavyweight champion for a number of times. Vitaly never quite made it to that level. Yes, Jeff, he was jerking the gherkin. But Vitaly Klitschko is now the mayor of Kiev in the Ukraine. Look at that. Former heavyweight boxer Vitaly Klitschko, brother of champion Vladimir Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko is the mayor of Kiev in Ukraine. And he's well, I'll tell you about what he's doing. He's basically squaring up with Putin because, we got the whole Russian-Ukraine thing going on, and Vitaly Klitschko has said that he is going to be first on the front lines. Ready to defend my country, Klitschko warns Putin and vows to fight on the Ukrainian front. Mayor of Kiev and former heavyweight boxer Vitaly Klitschko sent a stern warning to Vladimir Putin that he was prepared to fight against Russian aggression over the Ukraine aggressions or whatever. Vitaly Klitschko sent a warning shot to Vladimir Putin and told the Russian dictator that he would be prepared to join Ukrainian soldiers on the front line to defend the independence of the Ukraine. Mr. Klitschko, who's been mayor of Kiev since 2014, also urged the UK and other Western allies to send over advanced weapons so the country could fight back against the Russian military aggression. The former boxer also told reporters that Ukraine needed to be prepared to defend itself, which would involve civil defenses from civilians. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I'm so glad to be an American. We don't, well, you say that now, Pugs, but you wait. Could you imagine that? Imagine that if, like, the mayor of your town is like, get a gun because some people are going to invade. You got to start what? You got to defend your town. The Channel 4 news presenter asked what was required from Western allies to fight back against Russian aggression. And Klitschko replied, "We need modern weapons. We need political support. We need unity with European countries. We see our future as a democratic country." Mr. Klitschko ramped up his rhetoric against Russia following the conclusion of talks between NATO and the U.S. and Putin. He told CNN that Ukraine needs to prepare for any case as international powers seek to de-escalate the tensions at the border. So I don't know if he's trending because he's vowing to fight on the front line, or if he's just trending because nobody knew Vitaly Klitschko was in politics now. That's my takeaway. My takeaway, he's the mayor? Really? Wow. Okay. Also trending today, this is a good one. This is very good news for those of you who love TV. Guess what's coming back now? I know. Pugs, you just spent a whole show going through all the new TV shows that are coming in 22, and all you did was complain about how nothing is original, nothing is unique, and that everything is just a big reboot or some kind of bastardization of some format that has already been successful. I mean, we've got Bel-Air, which is a 1-hour drama show, which is based on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's the exact same story. And I was critical of that until we watched the trailer the other day, and I went, wow, that actually looks interesting. That actually looks like something I might. So, okay, that's fine. We've got How I Met Your Father coming to TV. That's another one. We've got That 90s Show, which is gonna bring Red and what was the last name? Eric. Whatever. It's basically they got the same cast from That 70s Show, except the kids, because I don't know that Ashton Kutcher's that easy to get. Although he didn't he do like a Netflix show or something, or a Prime show where he worked on a ranch? I don't know. At any rate, it's got the parents from That 70s Show, the original parents. They're going to be now raising, I believe, Eric's kid, or maybe the daughter who died. She didn't die in the show. She died in real life. So I don't know. So That 90s Show. So we got that coming. We got sequels. And I know that I was a little bit harsh on this, but this one I'm down with. There is a reboot coming, not a reboot, a revival. They're calling it a revival, not a reboot. It is a continuation of the story. And guess what it is? I'll let you guess. It's trending. So if you're just looking at trends, you can probably see it. It was trending in the top 5 because everybody's excited. I know I'm excited. Justified is coming back to television. That's right. The Elmore Leonard TV series based on his novella Fire in the Hole, which brought us the greatness of Walton Goggins, brought us the greatness of Timothy Oliphant. Justified is one of the most underrated television shows of the last 20 years. It only ran for 6 seasons. I didn't realize this. I was reading up about it this morning when I got all excited that it was coming back. It's the story of a U.S. Marshal, Raylan Givens, played by Timothy Oliphant. Oh, Timothy Oliphant. Timothy Oliphant is awesome. I don't understand how some people become big movie stars and other people just get stuck on TV, because Timothy Oliphant is a movie star. That guy is equal parts Clint Eastwood and Paul Rudd. He can do everything. He can do humor. He can do badassery. He is so great. So Justified is coming back, and it's going to pick up 8 years after the end of the series. What was the series, Pugs? Well, if you're unfamiliar with it, and again, man, I envy you. If you've never seen Justified, you've got 5 or 6 seasons of it that you can watch. It is a truly tremendous television show. It is the story of a U.S. Marshal, Raylan Givens, who is a big hot shot within the U.S. Marshal's office. He's down there in Miami, and he accidentally kills a drug dealer. And he sort of, it was self-defense, quite frankly. It was justified. And that's why the show's called Justified, because Raylan is a badass gunslinger, and all of his shootings are justified. They're just a little sketch. They're just a little bit, when you look at them on paper, it's like, did you really need to kill him? It's like, it was justified. So he gets bounced out of the Miami U.S. Marshal's office, and he is sent back to his hometown. He is now a U.S. Marshal in, is it Hazard County, or is that Dukes Hazard? I think it might also be Hazard County. I don't know. Whatever it is. No, it is whatever county. Some like hillbilly meth-infested coal mining country town in Kentucky or wherever. And he's now the U.S. Marshal there, and he's getting into he's busting people he went to high school with. And dude, Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins is one of the greats of this era. Walton Goggins is such a tremendous character actor. He plays Harlan County. That's it, Devin. Thank you. Harlan County. That's what it was. Walton Goggins plays his main nemesis. Walton Goggins leads a crime family. It's just so good. It is Justified is such a tremendous show. In the new series, here, I'll tell you what the new series is about. This comes from Variety. No word, I think, on when it's set to debut. This is just the announcement that they've gotten the green light and they're going to go for it. A revival of Justified has been ordered to series at FX, with Timothy Oliphant set to reprise his role as U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens. The project was in the works in March of 2021, or since 2021. The new iteration of the drama series is inspired by the Elmore Leonard novel City Primeval, High Noon in Detroit. Now, the first one, the very first episode, the pilot episode of Justified, is titled Fire in the Hole. And that's a great short story by Elwood, Jake and Elwood Blues, by Elmore Leonard. And it just goes from there. So the first pilot episode, Fire in the Hole, basically kicks off. If you're familiar with Elmore Leonard, and you should be, especially if you're a Texan, just one of the tremendous writers, just one of the great American writers. I won't get bogged down in that. But this new series is going to pick up and jump off from another Elmore Leonard story. That's the High Noon in Detroit. City Primeval, High Noon in Detroit. Leonard created the character of Givens, who appeared in several of the author's novels. And the novella Fire in the Hole. This is what I was just talking about. Fire in the Hole, the latter of which served as the basis for the initial series Justified. Officially titled Justified, City Primeval, the new show picks up with Givens 8 years after he left Kentucky behind. He now lives once again in Miami, a walking anachronism balancing his life as a U.S. Marshal and part-time father of a 14-year-old girl. His hair is grayer, his hat is dirtier, and the road in front of him is suddenly a lot shorter than the one behind him. A chance encounter on a desolate Florida highway sends him to Detroit. There, he crosses paths with Clement Mansell, a.k.a. the Oklahoma Wild Man, a violent sociopathic desperado who's already slipped through the fingers of Detroit's finest once and aims to do so again. Manziel's lawyer, formidable Motor City native. Here's the great thing about Justified. Here's one of the cool things about Justified, the original series. If you're a fan of The Ticket here in Dallas, which I am, I love The Ticket. I think it's, if not the best, it's the second best sports radio station in America. I am pretty partial to The Score in Chicago, but I do love The Ticket. I jump back and forth between the two of them. The writers of Justified were such fans of the Ticket radio station that many of the characters, the side characters in Justified, were names of people on the Ticket. They would just like I'd be watching the Ticket and they'd go, "Hey, someone's going to have to get a hold of Gordon Keith." You know, it's like, "Hey, wait, what?" Gordon Keith, what are you talking? It was great. It's great. Just it was such a great show. Let's see here. What else does it say? Dave Andron and Michael Dinner will serve as writers, showrunner, and executive producer. Justified was one of the most critically acclaimed shows of the past decade. Very few people watched it too. I mean, there wasn't a television critic in America who didn't go, "This show's good. This is not just a stupid cop show. This show is every bit as good as anything that HBO is cranking out, anything that you're going to see on any of the pay streaming services." Justified was one of the most critically acclaimed shows of the past decade, and an adaptation of Elmore Leonard's work that was so colorfully brought to life by Timothy Oliphant as Raylan Givens, Graham Yost, and the entire team of producers, writers, and directors, said Eric Schreier, president of FX Entertainment. To have this group come together again with Tim as Raylan in a new and different Elmore Leonard story is thrilling. I want to thank our showrunners, Dave and Michael, and their fellow executive producers, Tim, Graham, Sarah, and Carl. Graham Yost, he's just brilliant. He is a brilliant television producer. If you're unfamiliar with the work of Graham Yost, check it out. The Elmore Leonard estate, as well as our partners at Sony Pictures for making this possible. Justified ultimately aired 6 seasons, 78 episodes from 2010 to 2015. The show was a critical hit from the outset, netting 8 Emmy nominations across its 6 seasons, including one for Oliphant for Best Actor in a Drama in 2011. How he never won. How Timothy Oliphant didn't win. He was so tremendous as Raylan Givens. Just, woo. Character actress Margot Martingale took home an Emmy for Best Guest Actress in the Drama in 2011, while Jeremy Davies got one for Best Guest Actor in 2012. The show also won a Peabody Award in 2011. Peabody Awards. Peabody Awards, for me, they're more important than Emmys. They're more important than Golden Globes. Peabody Awards are an award show. It's not an award show. It's an award given out by the George Peabody Foundation to entertainment, whether it's television or books. They also do give news reports, these awards. It's basically shit that may not be huge television ratings hits, but it's deemed as being really good. If you've won a Peabody Award, that means a whole bunch of really serious people have decided that you are important, that you are winning a Peabody Award is probably more. If you're a creator, winning a Peabody Award means more. It means that the real serious, important intellectual people have looked at what you've created and gone, "Wow, this is really worthy of the George Peabody name." This now marks the second time Oliphant has returned to a lawman role in the past few years. In 2019, HBO released a 2-hour Deadwood movie follow-up with Oliphant reprising the role of Seth Bullock. Man, he's so great in Deadwood too. Although the Deadwood movie, I didn't like the Deadwood movie. Deadwood, if you're unfamiliar with Deadwood was an HBO series about the city of Deadwood, the old West town. And so many, I mean, it took real historical things that happened and then dramatized them. You know, all these things that occurred in the town of Deadwood. Deadwood was so good. Only ran for 2 seasons. HBO, I was reading a book a couple of years ago, and one of the people who was in charge, forgive me, I don't have their name at the top of my head, but the guy who was in charge of HBO at the time said that like the greatest, mistake that he feels he ever made. And he had a whole bunch of hits at HBO. HBO, we all know HBO was a juggernaut of putting out great TV. Said the greatest mistake he ever made was, allowing the end of Deadwood. That Deadwood ran for 2 seasons. That show could have ran for 10. That show was tremendous. And Timothy Oliphant, once again, plays a lawman. He played Seth Bullock. The real Seth Bullock. It's a real guy. You can just pull up. Here's what you do. You go to Deadwood, you read the Wikipedia page, and then you see all the characters who are highlighted in blue. That means they're real people. And then you click on them and you read their real story, and then you watch the show. That's fun. That's fun. That's what I like to do. I like to watch things that I actually learn something. Not all the time. I mean, what are you kidding me? I watched 3 episodes of Peacekeeper last night on HBO Max. Peacekeeper. It's the new DC superhero movie TV series starring John Cena as the Peacekeeper. We first saw the Peacekeeper in the Suicide Squad, and the series picks up right after the events of the Suicide Squad movie that just came out last year. And I watched all 3 episodes last night. I don't know. I find John Cena very charming. I find him very funny. He is a terrible superhero. The Peacekeeper, or is it Peacemaker? Whatever. He's terrible. He's like a jackass. He's kind of racist. Like, he's always being criticized because the only people that he busts and beats up are like black guys. And he's like, no, it's just that they're doing the crime. So it's funny. There is some crazy QAnon sort of thing. Like, it plays into that. Like, this superhero character is kind of like a QAnon guy, or at least his dad is. It was entertaining. You can check it out this weekend on not on HBO Max. Is it on HBO? Yes, it is. It's on HBO Max because it's DC. It's all right. I don't know. It's not as good as the Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett is really good. That's on Disney. That's the other new show that I'm kind of getting into now. I don't know. I will wait for a couple more episodes. It's just there was some silly stuff in Peacekeeper. Devin Pike says Peacekeeper is James Gunn's batshit insane child, and I'm all in. I'm not going to go all in on it, Devin. I'm not all in on it. I watched the first 3 episodes. I was entertained by it, but I was just like, okay, let's see where this goes. I like the concept. I like the concept that John Cena is like a piece of shit superhero. Like, he's just not a good guy. He ain't Superman. He ain't Batman. He ain't Captain America. And I also do like that in the Peacekeeper, there are a lot of mentions of other DC characters. Like, he spreads rumors about Aquaman. Like, they're like, you're not even a real superhero. Aquaman's a real superhero. Aquaman fucks fish. It's silly. I don't know. I'll watch a couple more episodes before I. Book of Boba Fett got me from the very beginning. Book of Boba Fett is, I think, better at this point after 3 episodes of each. What else is trending today? Okay, look at this. We got the Tim Allen. Tim Allen is trending. Apparently, they are making a TV series now of the Santa Claus. It's going to be a series. Don't know how that's going to play in June, but Tim Allen is going to be playing Santa in a new television series that is coming to town. What else do we have? Satan. I was going to do this last night because this started trending last night. Satan is trending. Yeah, why not, right? Why is Satan trending? Well, I'll tell you. You just give me a second here to have the page upload. There is an elementary school in Illinois that has an after-school Satan club. And because of, and rightfully so, the school has no say-so in these clubs. If the clubs, they can't discriminate based on religion, although it's complicated. I'll read it to you. Okay. This comes to us from Belleville, Illinois, which thankfully I was so worried. I'm like, please don't be near Chicago. Please don't be near Chicago. An Illinois school district is defending an after-school program being offered by the Satanic Temple, a national religious and human rights group. Many parents are reportedly furious over the meetings that will be held at Jane Addams Elementary School in Moline. The Satanic Temple does not believe in Satan, according to its website, nor will it attempt to convert children to Satanism. Instead, the club will teach children about benevolence and empathy, critical thinking, problem solving, creative expression, and personal sovereignty, according to a widely circulated flyer shared on social media. Well, yeah, that's what they say. I mean, they're not going to. Before you know it, you're sacrificing goats and dressing in weird red robes, hanging out in the woods in the middle of the night. Nah, I don't know. I don't really know. It just seems like a bit. Honestly, the Church of Satan seems like a bit. Children grades 1st through 5th are eligible for the club, and their meetings begin on Thursday, January 13th. Yesterday. That was the first one. This actually isn't a club. This is a quote now. This actually isn't a club that's meant to proselytize. Talk about Satan. This actually isn't a club that's meant to promote or talk about Satanism or even engage in discussions about religious opinion. This according to the Satanic Temple co-founder, Lucian Greaves. No way! No way! That's a real... No way the guy who runs the Satanic Church was born with the name Lucian. There is no way. He's probably born Bob Greaves, but he didn't think that was spooky enough, so he tricked it up, and now as an adult, he's going on, my name is Lucian. Satanic Temple co-founder Lucian Greaves told WQAD, I'm guessing that's the Rock of the Quad Cities, WQAD, here's Nickelback. This is an educational program meant to focus on critical thinking and just basic education skills. Well, that may be true there, Lucian, but you know what you're getting into when you call it Satanism. You are just asking for trouble. You are begging for somebody. Dicks. Because of a 2001 Supreme Court ruling in the case of Good News Club versus Milford Central Schools, schools are not allowed to discriminate against religious speech if a religious organization offers a club on the school's premises. After-school Satan clubs have already been offered in other schools. Really? Really? Point Defiance Elementary School in Tacoma, Washington began offering the controversial club in 2016, but it was put on hold a year later due to lack of resources, which means that nobody supported it. The temple says the clubs incorporate games, projects, and thinking exercises that help children understand how we know what we know about our world and our universe. Dr. Rachel Savage, the superintendent for Moline Coal City Valley Schools, said the school and its teachers are not involved in the club. Flyers were placed in the lobby of the school, and parents must sign a permission slip to allow their children to attend, just as they do for Boys and Girl Scouts or any other club. She said the Board of Education allows its facilities to be used for community use, to illegally deny their organization to pay to rent our publicly funded institution after school hours subjects the district to a discrimination lawsuit, which we will not win, likely taking thousands upon thousands of taxpayer dollars away from our teachers, staff, and classrooms. The statement from Savage came... The statement from Savage, she's the school superintendent, the statement from Savage came after many parents voiced concern over the club. The Satanic Temple, which views Satan as a mythical figure representing individual freedom. Okay, that's how you view it. That's how a very teeny tiny group of people view Satan. But, 99.9% of everybody else who's heard the word Satan thinks of one thing: the Prince of Darkness, the devil, the Antichrist, whatever the opposite of being a good, decent human being is. That's what the idea of Satan embodies. Why are you having a club that you are willfully just flunk? But that's not, you see, that is not what Satan means. Shut up! It doesn't matter. It means what everybody says it means. Don't you get up there and try and pretend like we're all... I hate this. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. The Satanic Temple, which views Satan as a mythical figure representing individual freedom. First of all, ain't nobody gonna join this club. Who's gonna go to this club? This is Moline. This isn't like, this is a small town. Well, not a small town. I mean, there are small towns, but it's not a big city. This is probably a very, This is stupid. Somebody just trying to make waves. Satanists should actively work to hone critical thinking and exercise reasonable agnosticism in all things, the temple says. I'm an agnostic. Don't you be dragging my stuff into this. I don't believe in Satan any more than I believe in the other thing. As a matter of fact, I believe in Satan far less. I believe that if there is something out there in control of all of this energy that pushes us forth in this universe, it's probably a good energy. I have to believe that. I am not going to pretend that there is actually a bad guy with horns and a red suit down there with a pitchfork going, if you lie, you're going to spend eternity with me. Stop it. Satanists should actively work to hone critical thinking and exercise reasonable agnosticism. Stop it again with the agnosticism. The temple says our beliefs must be malleable to the best current scientific understandings of the material world and never the reverse. So there you go. That's why Satanism is trending. All right, that's pretty much all that I have prepared for today as far as things that were trending. But now is the time in the show we'll delve back in. We'll see what the hell is trending since we left. Let's go through, I'll tell you what, we'll use Google today. We will use the Google Trends. Because quite honestly, the Google trending topics are better. They just are. They're better than Twitter. Twitter's just always so stupid. There's just people on Twitter just don't know what the hell. All right, let's see what's happening. Let's see what's been happening since we signed on today. Okay, whole bunch of all-pro players in the NFL have been nominated, and so we got the all-pro, so I'm not going to go through a list of players. Justified, we just talked about that, trending number 2 now. No, that's good. It was trending like in the top 10, but now it's moved all the way up to 2, which means people are excited. Justified coming back. Okay, we got some Premier League football apparently being played. A lot of that happening. Boris Johnson is trending. We talked about him yesterday, the British Prime Minister who's the embattled British Prime Minister with the crazy ass hair. He's not going to resign. They're trying to force him to resign. He's not going to resign. He's one of these newfangled dudes who, and I kind of applaud it. I don't applaud him. I think he's a buffoon. But I do applaud these guys who are now realizing that when the news media hammers you and people start demanding your resignation, that all you got to do is just sit tight for about 72 hours and they move on to something else. This Al Franken, I'll mention him again. He did the right thing. He caved to the pressure and he stepped down and yikes. He didn't have to do that. Al Franken could have just sat out for 3 days and everybody would have forgotten and moved on. One of the wonderful things that Trump taught us was that you don't have to cave. You can just say, really? You think I should? Screw you, I'm not. And then people go, he's not? He's not. Oh, well, let's move on to somebody else. That's what Boris Johnson is going to do. So they're demanding his resignation. They're demanding him step down. They're saying he should have never been prime minister in the first place. And that's probably true because he's a massive buffoon. But he is, and he's not going to cave. He's just not. He's going to stay there. He doesn't care. People are mad at him because his staff threw a party in the garden there at 10 Downing Street during a pandemic. You think he gives a shit about that? You people will move on to something else. Just give it a couple of days. Detroit Lions are trending because apparently their team, they're one of 3 teams that were shut out from all pro voting. So that sort of checks out because they suck. Garth Brooks has announced a stadium tour. Very exciting if you like Garth Brooks. Ukraine is trending. We already talked about that. Troubles between the Ukraine and Russia. Russia is amassing large military forces on the border. Brockton High School in Massachusetts is trending. Apparently there was a stabbing there. Dallas Cowboys are trending. Look at this. Let's see what this is about. All right, let's see why the Cowboys are trending. How many millions the NFL is making from extra games this year? This is the first season in the NFL where they expanded to a 17-game season. And, it certainly isn't for the health and benefit of the players. It is all about the money, baby. Pennsylvania's 2 pro football squads, both the lowest seeds in their respective conferences, made the postseason this year only because the nation's most popular sports league continues to pad its already robust bottom line with more games. The NFL stands to make hundreds of millions of extra dollars this season via its expanded schedule, which excludes... Why are the Cowboys trending? Okay, I don't care. Whatever. It's just about really. Oh, is that breaking news? Is that trending? Because we're figuring out that the Shield is all about the bottom line and all about making more money. Sinead O'Connor is trending. We already covered that. Russia. We don't need to talk about that. Honestly, I'm not prepared. Olivia Culpo is still trending. That's the story. That's Christian McCaffrey's girlfriend who was told to cover up on a flight. Well, that's no fun. Philadelphia Eagles, Baltimore Ravens, NFL Green Bay Packers. NFL AP defensive rookie. Did he get it? Is that why the cup? Did I jump off of this too soon? Did Micah Parsons get defensive rookie of the year? How could he not? Let me see here. You people might know more than me because you've probably been following this a little bit closer. Let's see here. Sorry, folks. There was, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on today, so I just threw together the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Okay. Here we go. NFL rookie rankings. Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase isn't he's a rookie, I guess. Micah Parsons headline top